everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Nuala Knows Nothing podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about, do little kids die more on Halloween than on any other day of the year? But firstly, I would like to say a few things because I have some things written down that I just want to get off my chest. So here we go. The first note I have is I'm filming this a day before it needs to be published. So today is the 2nd of November, which is crazy because I feel like the whole year's gone really quickly. And yeah, it needs to be uploaded tomorrow, which is Monday. So when you're seeing this, hi guys, it's Monday, the best day of the week. And I feel like I've been putting it off because I know I need to get it done and I just don't like that pressure. So then I just don't do it, which is quite bad, but it's fine. Because guess what guys, I'm doing it now, so there we go. Yesterday was extremely exciting and fun. Remember, it's Sunday for me today, so on Saturday this would be, if you're watching this on Monday. I filmed for my dad's work because they were doing a like fly posting event for like fly posting and the originals who were in that game, I guess you could say. And basically people would come into the event, the little venue, and they would just do screen printing, I think it is, and then they just leave their print to be dried. They can take a print that's already been printed and like dried and everything, and then they can go and stick it up on the wall at the bottom of the street, which the venue does, like, they own it, so it's not illegal. But it's kind of like playing on the act of doing something illegal because fly posting is illegal. The next thing is, for some reason Google Doc has just spelt mox as matcha, which I never put that. But oh my gosh, my glasses, let's hope that doesn't break. My GCSE mocks are coming up and I don't want to revise. I feel like I'm trying. If I try, I feel like I'm going to cry and throw up. What should I do? I think this is just anxiety for the actual exams, which will be worse if I don't do anything, I think. And yeah, so I think I should just try and at least look through my book. I think it's just the thought of it's bad, but the action that you take is fine. The thing is, I don't really care if I fail my exams, which is kind of bad on one level, but at the same time, it means that I don't take life that seriously, which is nice to have. But you know, when it comes to like going to work and stuff, I'm on time. Like, I'm on time all the time. I'm on time at school. I don't do anything bad. I've never got my standards card ticked. I've had a detention like one time, but that's because I was late. And yeah, so I would say I'm a very good student. It's just I don't like learning. It's some like with specific subjects, which is my downfall. So yeah, and it just sucks that it's like your whole like 5 years of secondary school is like determined out of like an hour and a half test. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And especially because I'm creative, I don't have that creative outlet really at school that I can go to and I'm like, oh my gosh, let's go to school. Like, it's like, oh, I gotta go to school. So yeah, I am actually well aware of the weird slightly buzzing sound in the background, but I can't fix or change that because for the first time ever I'm reading off of my PC on the podcast. So yeah, I can't do anything about that, and I do know that's happening because I can already hear it. And also I did record me just talking a bit before this, like before the start of the episode, just so that I can hear the buzzing noise, which is really annoying. But I think I might put some piano music over so that you can't really hear as much. But yeah, I've been putting off this episode all day, not because I don't like the subject of it, because I literally made it up and I think it's a very interesting subject. Because when I have something I need to do that's asking too much of me, if you're listening to this and not watching, bunny ears when too much of me is being said, I will not proceed to do it because I just get freaked out like my GCSE revision. There we go, because I was just watching The Walking Dead, and I do also want to say a few things that I've also watched, like Psycho, first time ever watching that, really cool. Same as Misery, oh my gosh, incredible movie. these two are both movies, and they're both Halloween-y, like evil drama. Sorry, I'm insanely tired, and I only went to bed at like 2 in the morning yesterday because I was just trying to sort out my camera stuff because I wanted to charge up the batteries at full charge, but just because it's like nice to do that. Like, imagine you handing your camera that someone lent you back to them and they literally like, there's no charge, like, bruh. And after filming on Saturday, I feel like I have more clarity on what I want to do and prioritize in my life, which is nice to know. And I think I've actually been like enjoying filming more, and I think especially if you're like trying to do something for someone, it's definitely for me pushed me out of my comfort zone, and is like, if someone really doesn't want their face to be on your camera, they will say something, so you might as well shoot it anyways. And I think that is so important to realise as a filmmaker, because you got to take those risks, and it's not even that big of a risk, it's just filming people, and that's what I had to do anyways, so like, you know. Anyways, I am so aware that this has been like 10-11 minutes, not 6-7. Bruh, I didn't, with the 6-7 joke, okay, I'm sorry to anyone who just like doesn't like it or whatever, but basically there was a South Park episode about it, and I had already heard it at school, but then on South Park, so now I kind of just use it, but from South Park, not, and when Cartman's like throwing up when he's doing the 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. Yeah. I feel quite young when I do the 6-7, because it's just young little children doing it, and yeah. Anyways guys, today we are talking about, do kids die more on Halloween than they do any other day of the year? And I'm going to go into the USA firstly, because I think that is kind of where all the mad people are. Now that is kind of not true, but at the same time, there's literally like the majority of the USA believe that Trump is a good president. So it's like, they are kind of all crazy, aren't they? I mean, that's just my views personally. You don't have to take that too deeply. Like, I'm just a random person on the internet after all. But there we go. So yes, I typed into Google, do more children die in the USA on Halloween? And AI Overview said, yes, more children die in the USA on Halloween, with studies showing a significant increase in child pedestrian fatalities on this day compared to others. Children aged 4 to 8 sorry, there are so many cars walking past, bro, using some personification. Children aged 4 to 8 are at the highest risk, being up to 10 times more likely to be struck and killed by a car on Halloween, while pedestrians under 18 are 3 times more likely. The high risk is attributed to factors like children being out trick-or-treating at dusk in dark or poor visibility conditions, and the increased prevalence of taller vehicles like SUVs that can make it harder to see pedestrians. I had originally thought that like, it's not about cars. Like, I wasn't thinking like, oh, it's because of the cars, that's why people might be dying more. Alright you guys, I've got the really good website, and it's from the Actuarial Post. Now, I don't know whether this is a good resource, I haven't heard of it, but I just think it's interesting, and let's just give it a go. Let's see what the stats are. If this isn't really a real website, I don't really care, because AI Overview said before that people do die more, young children die more on Halloween than any other time in the year in America. So I'm going to just read out to you guys some stats, some statistics. Sorry, I just had to yawn there. On average, road traffic incidents increased by 75% compared to the rest of the month, with 49 child pedestrians involved in road traffic accidents on Halloween. This is nearly twice the average number for the 2 weeks before and after Halloween, the 17th of October to 14th of October. Analysis also shows a second spike in the number of road traffic accidents involving a vehicle and a child occurs 5 days later on November 5th, bonfire night. It is not just children who are at risk on Halloween either, as there is an average of 295 accidents involving adults on this day every year, which is 12% higher than the annual average, which is a lot. Okay, the analysis, I can't even say analysis, there we go, also revealed the impact time of day has, the analysis also revealed the impact of time, the analysis also revealed the impact time of day has on the likelihood of a child pedestrian being hit by a vehicle. On a standard day, nearly half, 46%, of all children pedestrian road accidents occur in the late afternoon between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., which is likely to be a result of children leaving school. After school is noticeably higher than before school, where 12% of accidents take place between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. A further 19% of accidents occur between 6 p.m. and midnight. 19%. That's a lower percentage. Highlighting the danger for children posed by going out after dark. On Halloween, however, the proportion of incidents between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. falls to 31%, with 47% of children hit by a car taking place between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. On a normal day, this would be 18%. Wait, let's just read that previous line again. On Halloween, however, the proportion of incidents between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. falls to 31%, with 47% of children hit by a car taking place between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. 47% of children hit by a car taking place between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. On a normal day, this would be 18%. So on Halloween, it's 47%, but on a normal day, this would be 18% of children hit by a car taking place between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. 47% on Halloween, that is insane. I kind of don't really believe that. But if it's true, like, geez Louise, watch out where you're going, especially in the USA. The relative risk of a pedestrian fatality was 43% higher on Halloween compared with controlled evenings, and the National Institutes of Health says that. Let's have a little read at what this has to say. Oh, wait. The entire study, so this is results, and this is from PubMed Central, which I feel, yeah, it's the United States government. The results, I should really say the method, shouldn't I? Okay, let's say the method first of all. Methods. Data were obtained from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's Fatality Analysis Reporting System. That's a lot, and I don't think I understood any of that. Data were obtained from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's Fatality Analysis Reporting System. The 42-year study interval extended from the first year that data were collected to the most recent year, for which data were available 1975 to 2016. The primary analysis compared the number of pedestrian fatalities that occurred between 5 p.m. and 11:59 p.m. on October 31st each year with the number that occurred during the same hours and control evenings 1 week earlier, October 24th, and 1 week later, November 7th, as in prior research. Exact binomial tests were used to examine the significance of deviations from the expected ratio of 1 to 2 with a little 4, Hourly variation in risk was evaluated by stratifying pedestrian fatalities by clock time. This study received a waiver of approval from the University of British Columbia Research Ethics Board. This included a waiver of requirement for informed consent. Statistical analyses used two-sided tests, and statistical significance was inferred from p-values less than 0.05. Analysis were performed using the letter R, version 3.4. Data analysis occurred from February to September 2008. The results. The entire study interval included 1,580,608 fatal traffic crashes involving 2,333,302 drivers and 268,468 pedestrians. A total of 608 pedestrian fatalities occurred on the 42 Halloween evenings, whereas 851 pedestrian fatalities occurred on the 84th control evenings. So there's more for the more evenings there are. Absolute mortality rates averaged 2.07 and 1.45 pedestrian fatalities per hour respectively. The relative risk of a pedestrian fatality was 43% higher on Halloween compared with control evenings. The average Halloween resulted in 4 additional pedestrian deaths. Okay. And there is actually a chart that I will put on the screen now. That's actually good to have. Pedestrian fatalities on Halloween, pedestrian fatalities on control dates. It seems as if there are so many more young children dying, and young is up to 13 to 17. So there's 3. Okay, so age 3 on Halloween, pedestrian fatalities is 10. I think this must be in percentages. I'm not sure though. Oh yeah, odds ratio percent, I think. But on control dates it's 8. 4 to 8 year olds on Halloween is 55, and control dates is 11. 9 to 12 year olds are 47% on Halloween. I think it's out percentages because everything's out percentages, but at the same time it can't be out percentages because there's lots of big numbers and 800s and 500s, etc. Anyways, 15 on control dates for 9 to 12 year olds. And then this is where our stop is at. 13 to 17 on Halloween is 61, and control dates is 62. And then Halloween goes high, but control dates go even higher, going from 143 to 231 and 374. And it also seems like on Halloween, males are more prone to fatalities, whereas, well, it's just the same. Men are just, on the control dates, October 24th and November 7th, men are prone to fatalities as well. That's quite interesting. And then crash days, Monday through Thursday on Halloween it's 321, then on control days 413. Friday to Sunday is again lower than control dates, so it's 287, and then control dates is 438. All of it is urban. They're both higher in urban. The rural for Halloween is 198, and control dates for rural is 253. Urban is 404 on Halloween, and for control dates it's 438. No, it's not. I was reading the other thing. Friday to Sunday it's 585. Wow, that's a lot. And in the south, it seems like everything's bad in the south for both Halloween and control dates, for like which region of the United States. So that's quite interesting. And it seems like all of the pedestrian fatalities are really at 6 p.m. and that's very close. I have another chart up here, and there's another line, this is a line graph I'm explaining right now, and the mean hourly pedestrian fatalities and control days is roughly about 6 to 7 fatalities. So yeah, that's actually quite interesting. I'll just read out the conclusion, and then I'm gonna put another question into Google. So here's the conclusion. Halloween trick-or-treating encourages creativity, physical activity and neighbourhood engagement. Trick-or-treating should not be abolished in a misguided effort to eliminate Halloween associated risk. Instead, policymakers, physicians, I think that's what it says, and parents should act to make residential streets safer for pedestrians on Halloween and throughout the year. Great. Now I'm going to type in, do serial killers kill more on Halloween? Kill more children specifically. It's okay, before I put this in, I just want to say it's actually so crazy that there are people who just go around killing people and then we keep them alive. That is why I would actually really like the death penalty to occur, because we are just spending so much money, like within the UK, for people who have done such bad things, and it's like we're keeping them alive, but it's like the people who are homeless should have a shelter, but the person who's murdered someone and has done all bad is still alive. Like, what the heck? I only think the death sentence should be allowed in the UK if we literally have evidence, like plain ass evidence of someone killing someone. We should let them die, because then that means that there is more space, first of all, for other criminals. We should bring in the death sentence, the death penalty, because then other criminals, we wouldn't have to build more housing, and we'd also save money, so they could also maybe cut back on the police forces and give some to the NHS or some to like schools. Or I did actually have a really good idea the other night. If the government gives some money or whatever to youth centres or like just youth places for kids who don't necessarily have the best upbringing to go there and express themselves and do what they want to do, like maybe make music, do art, just hang about, be in a kitchen and make food or whatever, because then that would allow for, there'll be less people potentially committing crimes, I would say, which would mean that there's less people going into the police and being a criminal, etc. So I do think it all just comes down to like how you've been brought up and like how people respect you. So yeah, now let's look at my question. Do serial killers kill more children on Halloween? I'm putting it in. No. Okay, there is no evidence to suggest serial killers kill more children on Halloween. The idea is a misconception fueled by myths about poisoned candy. I didn't think about that. While crime can increase on Halloween due to factors like alcohol consumption, serial killers do not typically target children on this holiday. Okay, so maybe let's put, do serial killers kill more people? No. Okay, so just, I tested out the children. Do serial killers kill more children on Halloween? They said no. Do serial killers kill more people on Halloween? No. There is no evidence for this. But yeah, this has actually been insanely interesting. I do really want to make a cake though, so I might leave the episode here, just because I want to do something else that I really enjoy, and yeah. But I might have to do this first. I have to edit all. I'm gonna have to edit all of this first though, and make the thumbnail. Bruh. I'm gonna have to make the thumbnail first though, before I make my cake and watch more. Before I watch more Walking Dead. So, thank you all for watching so much. I've kind of had a few more ideas now, just by like researching about this. Maybe I could do like an investigation thing, like talking about serial killers or certain murderers or like cases that really stand out. to me personally, and I can share them because I think that's really interesting. I might have to make a script on that, I'm not sure, but that's actually really interesting, and that might be next episode and topic. I'm not sure though. But I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Hope you had a great Halloween. I know it's a few days afterwards now from Halloween, but it's okay, you know. Never too late. But yeah, thank you all for watching and listening, or doing both, or either is perfectly good enough. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you all next time. If you have any video recommendations, please comment them down below, because I'd love to hear what you guys want me to talk about and just research or like whatever. And yeah, thank you all for watching and listening, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!